Welcome, one and all, to my very first themed month, Dead by Daylight month. For the whole of October, we're talking about all things Dead by Daylight. Am I going to do this every year? I don't think so, but I do know that this time I'm going to make sure that this is the best month we've ever had. It's going to be hard to top my Street Fighter Ranked video, but I'm going to try. Dead by Daylight is a game that everybody loves and everybody hates at the same time. It's a game with no definitive opinion, other than the fact that it exists. But despite what people believe, this game is popular. So today, what better way to start off Dead by Daylight month than not talking about Dead by Daylight? Okay, let me explain. Because of Dead by Daylight's popularity, you better believe there are a bunch of clone games out there, or rip-offs. You can't see it, but I'm doing the quotation marks. These rip-off games are also very popular, depending on what license they use. Am I saying that every asymmetrical horror game is a rip-off of Dead by Daylight? No, I'm not. Because then we would have to clump Left 4 Dead in there, and it came out before Dead by Daylight, so who's the real ripoff? But yeah, we're going to be talking about a few clones of Dead by Daylight, one of which may surprise you in terms of concept, and the other of which may surprise you in terms of its backstory. And then there's one that just won't surprise you in general. So, without further ado, by the blessing of the entity itself, let us begin. Starting off our reign of terror, we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game. Very clunky title aside, this game is one of the more popular Dead by Daylight clones. In fact, it was slated to be the Dead by Daylight killer. Ironic, but it didn't end up happening. Why? Well, that's actually a very good question, because this game could actually be better than Dead by Daylight in a few areas. For starters, they were doing the 2v8 way before Dead by Daylight ever decided to do that. Seriously, it took them this long to do it. But, that's that, and besides, this game also revolves around teamwork on both sides. You're not going to get anything done alone. This game also, I should add, is basically the best use of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre license I have seen in a long time. Dead by Daylight does have one character from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. However, it's Leatherface. They made the safe pick. This game makes more daring picks. Is there anything wrong with this game? There are. One thing is for certain, on the killer side, or in this case the family side, you have to play as Leatherface no matter what. Or at least one of you does. I'm not sure if they fixed that or not, but there's something else. This game has a lot of bugs. But then again, it's a Dead by Daylight game, so what were you expecting? Also, this game is made by the same people that made the Friday the 13th game. A game that, well, aged really poorly. Let's just say it like that. So, that aside, this game is better, but It definitely needs a lot of improvements. Also, this game has a bigger clipping issue than Street Fighter 5, which that's surprising. So, I would rate this game an 8 out of 10 by Dead by Daylight standards. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. And for this next one, we have to go to a place that no living man should ever have to go. We're talking Roblox. Okay, full disclosure, I like Roblox. So, I guess me making fun of it was sort of friendly fire. But still, we do have one really good one on here. Sonic.exe, The Disaster. Man, it seems like I can't escape this guy. Sonic.exe The Disaster is basically a Dead by Daylight clone starring Sonic characters. Hey, it's Roblox. Anything flies at this point. So yeah, why do I like this game so much? Simple, really. All the characters are unique. The survivors and Sonic have different movesets. Shadow has an attack, Tails can blast people, Rouge, okay, she's the oddball, and Sonic.exe is just able to teleport. Yeah, this is the one that I said would surprise you in concept, because why on earth would you mix Sonic.exe and Dead by Daylight? And yet, I think it actually works. It's made by Outlike Roblox on, well, Roblox. And unlike the other games that I'm going to talk about, this one is free. If you have Roblox, you can check it out. It's available on mobile devices and, well, any other device. So, this game is not perfect, but it's still good. Our final one is going to be a very stupid game that's not very good on the surface. But once you start digging into that rabbit hole, oh man, it goes deep, son. It goes deep. Our final game is so on the nose of being a Dead by Daylight clone that if it were any more, it'd be Pokemon Gray Matter. Identity V. A Chinese mobile game. Basically, it's a kid-friendly version of Dead by Daylight, set in the 1930s. Because it's kid-friendly, that means there's no blood and gore, and instead of hooks, there's chairs that you get rocketed up on. Instead of generators, it's whatever this is. And the survivors all have unique mechanics. But other than that, that's pretty much just Dead by Daylight. There is one cool mechanic. You can actually call out how much... You can actually call out just how many charges you have done on a generator in this game. I wish we could do that in the actual game. So, yeah. This game is... It's about as rip-off as you can get. It's basically just Dead by Daylight. In fact, if you look up in the top right corner and the left corner, yeah, it's basically just Dead by Daylight. There's nothing to say here. Or at least, that's what it seems like. Because there is actually something interesting. I told you this game is from China, but I didn't tell you which developer developed this game. Now, when I told you it was from China, you probably didn't even think twice. But when I tell you who developed it, it's gonna surprise you. NetEase Games. Yeah, the Diablo Immortal guys. They made this game. They're also the developers behind many Fortnite ripoffs, PUBG ripoffs, and official mobile ports like Diablo Immortal, Egg Hunt, and oh yeah, that's right, the official Dead by Daylight mobile port. Yeah, that's right. These guys not only made their own ripoff of Dead by Daylight that was so blatant that even I could notice it, but they actually made an official version of Dead by Daylight. How on earth did this happen? And this is officially licensed by Behavior, so what is going on? But then, I can only assume one thing happened. Behavior saw this mobile port of Identity V and just thought, if you can't beat them, assimilate them. And they decided to have them make an official version. But that wouldn't explain why Identity V is still up and getting updates. Now, granted, I don't hate Identity V, but I do think it's very funny how these guys made a very blatant rip-off, and then Behavior looked at that and said, that's horrible, do it again. This is just funny, and also strange. Now, I've actually played Dead by Daylight Mobile, and it has some differences, but I'm not going to go into all of them in this video, because that would just bloat it. But still, this is just... how did this even happen? There you have it. These are 3 Dead by Daylight clones. We have one that everyone expected, one that nobody expected, and one that had a rabbit hole so very weird and deep that I don't even know the full story, and a part of me doesn't want to. So, with that in mind, I have been the Gamer Nerd, and thank you for watching the very first episode of DBD Month. Tune in next time for what I don't know, but I do know this. It's going to involve some very interesting Dead by Daylight gameplay. Although all my videos do that, so yeah. Credit to those who can play this game better than me. Anyway, goodbye.